she do it once again?
And I know some people don't get nervous at all and others are nervous before every game, but I'd say I'm pretty much like on a game-to-game basis.
Can she be England's heroine?
I think the last few years were quite difficult.
I was very much on the verge of quitting football.
You know, first and foremost, athletes are people.
Kelly, yes, she can!
Football isn't just about the big leagues or the big moments. There's teams up and down the country that play every weekend. But what about those with second jobs or are parents? What happens to them? Football has been around for ages, years and years, and that does include the women's game as well. However, in 1921 they did get banned for 50 years. But they're back and better than ever. Because we are seeing more and more women join the game. But the difference between the two games is still quite large. We are seeing more women struggle with the professional pyramid than ever before. I'm here to explore that. I spoke to multiple clubs about the mental health impact about their sport, including Swindon Town, MK Dons and Oxford United. Let's get into it. First though, I wanted to speak to the girls about their upbringing through football. Did they have a tough time getting through, or was it more for fun? And by this I mean, were they playing with the boys? Did they have to level up through the men's competition, or were they given a girls team and just went out for a little kickabout?
I started playing football when I was about 5 or 6. Started just at a local boys team, and then I went on to join Reading Academy because I'm from Reading, so that was like the local one, until I was 13, and then joined Chelsea, and I was there till I was 18, so I signed my first contract there. I was there for a year and then went to Southampton for 2 years, and then came here. I played with my brother, which is pretty much what kick-started it all, and my dad in the garden and whatever. And then played for a boys team for a few years, then joined my first girls team, which was like Hampshire at the time, so it's like county. And then that transitioned into Southampton Women, which I was then there for most of my youth career.
How did I get to where I was today? So I started off when I was the age of 4. Was playing out the front with the boys, really enjoying football. Wasn't really many girls playing football obviously at that point. My mum and dad realised that I absolutely loved it, so took me down to the local team, which was Waterreaton at the time, which is based just down the road in Westby actually. Started playing with them, played with them until sort of the age of 12, absolutely loved it, definitely toughened me up. Friends I'm still friends with today, so it was absolutely amazing. Unfortunately that came to an end because I wasn't allowed to play with the boys at that point.
The game is growing, but so is the pressure. But what about the mental pressure these players may feel after losing or winning a game? How is it actually affecting them?
I think many people would say the same thing, is very up and down. I think the last few years were quite difficult, like I wasn't playing a lot, so that can be quite hard, but I think at the minute it's good, I'm playing, I'm happy, so you've got to take the good when it's good, to be honest, so yeah. I'd say right now it's really good. It's definitely had its ups and downs, but right now I'd say I'm really enjoying my football. I think the group here is great, which obviously always helps off pitch to enjoy yourself as well. I'd say now, but there's definitely been moments in my career where I've potentially not enjoyed as much or had injury struggles, so there's definitely up and down, it's not smooth sailing.
When I was in an academy set up, I was very much on the verge of quitting football. I think, obviously I can't speak for everybody, but when you sort of hit 14, 15 and you sort of see all your friends going out and making plans, and you're kind of having to not do that because you have a game in the morning, you can't go to sleepovers, and it's kind of a real battle with what do you want for your life, because in reality, in women's football is not going to really, back then it wasn't sort of a career move. So I think it's definitely changed throughout the years, but throughout it all I've always fallen back in love with it, and that's where I am now.
So they can affect performance, so if we look at things like anxiety, if athletes aren't equipped with the skills to be able to regulate that, it can negatively impact performance. If we look at things like motivation, if athletes are struggling with motivation, again, it can negatively affect things like effort, persistence, and all of these things can have a knock-on effect on somebody's well-being. And first and foremost, athletes are people, and they care a lot about their sport. So if things aren't going so well there, it's probably likely to affect their personal well-being and personal life too.
Football isn't about the big moments or the big leagues. There's teams up and down the country that play every weekend. But what about the stuff we don't always see? Those who have second jobs, or those who are working part-time with kids, who knows? Let's explore a little bit more about that.
I'll start off 6 a.m, work. By the time I'm leaving, I'm heading straight to our football training, and then I won't be home till 11, half 11, and then repeat. So it's a very back-to-back day, even during the week. But I enjoy it. If I look tired, you'll know why now.
But some of the girls are waking up and doing a job in the morning up until lunchtime, and then driving an hour to training. And then
juggling things like work, school, football, whether it's at an academy level or at a semi-professional level, that takes an awful lot of time management skills, organisation, preparation, and that can mean that getting sufficient time for physical and psychological rest can be difficult. So there are challenges, but we also know that there are benefits to having different kind of responsibilities other than sport. So we see that actually having varied interests can give athletes a multidimensional identity. So that can really protect against the challenges that they might face during retirement, deselection, because they don't just see themselves as an athlete, but they also see themselves as a student, for example. That can kind of broaden that identity to help them see themselves also as a friend, daughter, son. So it can really help athletes too, actually having these different interests.
So I go to uni, do my studies, get that out of the way, have lunch. After lunch, I would, depending on the day, I would go back to classes. After classes, I would leave, come to football training. We have like analysis and stuff like that first. After analysis and training, I would head home, have dinner, then I would wind down.
And this is their normal. Compared to people who don't play football and don't do athletic sports, our normal is a little bit different. And we still need support, but how did they get theirs?
I have a lot of support with my family. My daughter's dad is very supportive as well. So it's just reaching out when you can and sort of leaning on those that want to help you.
A psychology workshop on Sunday just gone, which was amazing. It was all about emotions and how we deal with those and take those into games. So for somebody that's a little bit older, I tend to think that I've got a lot of skills in regards to that, but there's always new things that you can learn and always new things that you can adapt and change. So I feel like the club's definitely doing the right things, definitely going in the right direction. I think within football, there's always things that can be improved with mental health. I think the pressures that some people are under sometimes can get missed. That's both men and women. Different pressures, different things. So I do still think that there's huge work that needs to be done in regards to supporting players a little bit better.
Lower tiers should have a lot more support, whether that be financially or mentally.
So the Women's Super League, which is the highest competition for women, players receive significantly more structured internal mental health support compared to those in the lower leagues like our players here, with regulation mandating that all WSL clubs establish comprehensive mental health strategies. While the PFA offers services to all professional players, WSL players benefit from on-site specialists and daily monitoring, whereas lower league players often rely on external resources, part-time staff or charity-based support, and sometimes even their own teammates.
In a team setting, it's very easy to feel like you don't want to be a burden or or talk about whatever you're feeling you're struggling with if you know other people are also struggling. So I think it's difficult, but I think it's also important because your teammates are the best people to talk to because they're in the exact same situation as you.
I don't think it'll ever be spoken about enough. Personally, I think I come from a background where myself and family members have struggled with mental health previously. So I think witnessing first and second hand, I don't think it will ever be spoken about enough or have enough support out there to really, truly get the help that you need on a personal level.
As the game grows, it's so much support behind the players. Here's a piece of advice from the players to those just starting out their footballing career.
What I always say is make sure you're still enjoying it.
I would say you have to be resilient. Absolutely, if that's something you want to work towards, you have a goal you want in mind, I think you've definitely got to work hard and be resilient to get there, because it's not plain sailing. But I also think you always have to enjoy it. Just enjoy it, and I think that's the main thing. Yeah, work hard and enjoy it.
Immense strength and courage in speaking to somebody about how you feel.
Just enjoy it. I think remember why you're playing.
Make sure you're enjoying it. I think that's the biggest thing. We start these things because we enjoy them. We start these things because ultimately we just want to have fun.
Don't give up, because at the beginning it will feel very difficult. However, if you just keep working hard, if you put in the work, like, there's nothing that can stop you.